Hi, I'm Joseph Jaffe. For those few people out there that actually don't know who I am, consider yourselves the lucky ones. I thought I would take a few moments just to give you a little bit of an introduction. I'm South African, I'm not Australian, I'm not English, although 95% of Americans think that I am. Born, bred, raised in South Africa, worked for a fast food chicken company, believe it or not, called Nando's Chickenland in South Africa, in their marketing department. Nando's are best, I guess I describe them as, think Starbucks meets subservient chicken on crack, right? Subservient, chicken, irreverent, deprecating, but Starbucks, premium priced experiential brand. Learned a lot actually about how brands are built and really the power, quite frankly, ironically, of advertising to really put a company on the map. But it really it was about something else. It was about authenticity. It was about being true to oneself. Before technology, before the internet, before social media, here was a company that had identity and purpose, knew who they were, had the passion, and was able to take that passion out to the market. Anyway, I came to the US in 1997, and I worked for a number of, as I say to a lot of people, I've worked for a number of ad agencies, but don't hold that against me. I've worked for Ogilvy, I've worked for DMB&B, may they rest in peace. I've worked for TBWA Shire Day in New York. But something was wrong, something was missing. I was becoming more disillusioned with advertising and with what it brought to the table and what it represented. There was something better. There was something more. There was something that was yet to come. Initially, for me, it was digital. And I often describe it as biting into the forbidden fruit, right? The Garden of Eden. Once you bite into that apple, suddenly Eve's pointing at your genitalia and she's laughing and you realize you've got to go and get a real day job. It's truth. There's no going back. Once you realize the power of interactivity and transparency in a sense, and the fact that we are not alone anymore. It's kind of like intelligent life out there, except the intelligent life is our consumers. It's their hearts beating and their voices echoing, and their minds really kind of whirring together, being part of the process, being part of the solution, as opposed to the problem. And so I left the space and I started working about 8 years ago in this idea. I created this phrase called new marketing for a new consumer. The world has changed, the consumer has changed, but we, marketers, we've not changed. Marketing has not changed. Marketing is still operating as if we were happy-go-lucky in the Industrial Revolution 55 years ago. Well, we all know that that is complete false now. It's not true. It's not relevant or prevalent anymore. The world truly has changed, and that's why we need new marketing for a new consumer. So I went out on my own. I started doing a lot of writing. I started doing a lot of speaking. I had a weekly column called Jaffe Juice, the blog, the podcast, now the video show. You can see the evolution of, in a way, a brand, an umbrella brand, representing a type of thought leadership, if you will. And in 2005, I would say that everything really changed for me. I started the blog, Jaffe Juice. I started the podcast, Jaffe Juice, with Steve Rebell. He stuck around for 13 episodes, and then I continued on my own. And my book, Life After the 30-Second Spot, which was published by Wiley and was an Adweek book. I'm proud of that book, and I'm proud of the fact that I wrote the book in 2004. The book came out in 2005, and it really has become somewhat predictive and prophetic in terms of identifying the way the world was changing and even pointing out some of the things that in fact have come to pass. This morning, in fact, I sat down with an individual in the industry, and we were talking about Jeff Zucker's announcement that I think NBC are now moving to 2 hours of reality programming or non-scripted programming in the 3-hour primetime block. Well, I wrote about that in 2004 and predicted that this was going to come to pass. So, fast forward to 2006, I found a company called Crayon. Today, Crayon is a strategic consultancy that helps brands join the conversation. Many people, in fact, I've fast forwarded to my second book, which is Join the Conversation, that came out in 2007. And I often joke to people and I say, most people create or write a book to shill a company. I created a company to shill a book. The book and the message behind the book was that there are millions, literally millions of conversations going on right now, right this very second around you. Millions of alive, flawed, human, engaging, passionate, and influential conversations. Isn't it time you joined in? Isn't it time that brands realize that this is not the one-to-many model anymore? This is the many-to-many model. Remember the movie The Sixth Sense? I see dead people. Well, today we hear alive consumers, and the noise will drive us nuts. The noise will drive us crazy if we don't know how to listen, how to filter, and how to respond. So that's what Crayon is today. We're a company that helps other companies understand, brands understand how the world is changing, what this many-to-many model looks like, the power of community dialogue and partnership, and how to participate as an equal partner. And here we are today, 2 books later, a blog, a podcast, and now a video show. And a lot of my passion and energy and effort is going to be put into the show and into this dialogue between you and between me. This is a journey. What is the business model going to look like for the show? I don't know yet. I have some ideas. We're absolutely going to go out and monetize. There's that word. We should probably have a counter, by the way, every time the word monetize. It's important to demonstrate that great content will always rise to the top. Enjoying the conversation, I wrote about the 6C model: content, commerce, community, context, customization, and conversation. The problem with marketing today is that we don't address the C of commerce: return on investment, measurability, accountability. We have to sell more stuff. Because if we don't, we go out of business, we lose our jobs. It's as simple as that. And anybody that tells you otherwise is either lying or a damn fool. So we're going to monetize this show. And if you're a sponsor, potential sponsor, if you're a brand, if you want to put your money where my mouth is, then we've got some pretty interesting ideas. I'm going to make it very, very transparent. I'm going to share this journey with you. In fact, what we're thinking of doing, and I'm mentioning the we, you'll find out soon enough who the we is in Jaffe Juice. The juice in the Jaffe, the juice to my Jaffe, I should say. But, what we're going to do is we're actually going to produce an entire custom show for our sponsors. It's not going to be a show. It's not going to be a big, fat, bloated sponsored show. I'm going to sit down with your CEO or your CMO and talk about things that are relevant not only to you the sponsor, but you the audience as well. Or maybe we'll produce a theme show. Maybe we'll talk about the youth market. Maybe we'll talk about mobile. Maybe we'll talk about social networking. Maybe we'll talk about creativity or innovation. We are going to reinvent the sponsorship model, the B2B model. And if you're interested, well, just send me an email. Jaffe at, what is my email, by the way? The Cranville email or the Get the Juice email?
Or Joe at JaffeJuiceTV.
Yeah, I haven't even activated that.
Yeah.
It will be Jaffe at JaffeJuice.tv. Okay. Well, you just heard it. So if you're interested, send me an email. Jaffe at JaffeJuice.tv. And let's do lunch.